Good evening, everyone. Hi. Thank you all for coming. My name is Louisa,
And my name is Noor.
and we are the presidents of the Georgetown Retail Luxury Association. Tonight, we're proud to host Jim Sinegal, the founder and former CEO of Costco Wholesale Corporation.
Mr. Sinegal co-founded Costco in 1976, and until his retirement in 2011, he remained CEO and president of the branch. He began his career in the retail industry in 1984. As an 18-year-old college student, he went to work for retail legend Sol Price at a discount store in San Diego. He remained working for Price for almost 30 years before going out on his own and starting Costco.
Today, Costco is ranked number 14 in the Fortune 500, and ever since it was founded, it has revolutionized the American retail space. Its revenues exceed $100 billion, and it employs over 194,000 people worldwide. For decades, the company's mission has been a never-ending quest for efficiency and, more importantly, providing its members with the best possible prices. It is an honor to have Mr. Sinegal with us tonight to talk about the origins of Costco and how Costco has managed to stay relevant in the fast-changing world of retail.
On behalf of GRLA, we would like to thank Mr. Sinegal for being here and sharing his invaluable life experiences with us, as well as the Global Business Initiative with Dr. Ricardo Ernst and Mr. Wilbert Hidalgo.
We would also like to thank Dean Patricia Grant and Ms. Maria Anderson from the MSB Undergraduate Office, the McDonald School of Business events team, and GRLA's dedicated members for putting this event together.
Now please join us in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ricardo Ernst and Mr. Jim Sinegal.
Good evening. It's a great pleasure. I want you to know it's a great pleasure to welcome Jim Sinegal to the McDonald School of Business. As was mentioned, in 1976, Mr. Sinegal co-founded Price Club, that later be called Costco, one of the world's largest retailers, creating a paradigm shift in the retail industry. His strategy and leadership transformed his store into one of the most successful retailers in the world. Gossip goes that the idea for Costco came when Mr. Sinegal took a job at FedMart in 1954 during college. His particular job was unloading mattresses. His technique for unloading mattresses was so unique that got the attention of FedMart's chairman, Sol Price, who is credited with inventing the big box warehouse concept. Eventually, Mr. Sinegal became executive vice president of the company. That's what you call a very nice career path. From unloading mattresses to VP, he eventually helped start Price Club. Mr. Sinegal started Costco in 1983, and the rest is history. Costco has done what very few companies have been able to do: change consumer behavior. People used to buy 2 to 3 rolls of toilet paper. Thanks to Costco, we now buy 300 rolls one shot. You need to get a bigger house so you can put all this toilet paper. We can safely say there is a world before Costco and a world after Costco. For those that do not know me, my name is Ricardo Ernst. I have been at Georgetown for over 32 years, doing many things, including teaching operations and supply chain management. So you can imagine the excitement of being with the former CEO of Costco. Costco is to supply chain management enthusiasts what Apple and Google is to innovators, a continuous source of learning and inspiration. Costco is a global social equalizer. It is like going to a sport event. You see there all kinds of people from different social levels and economic positions. Anybody and everybody goes to Costco. It is the perfect one-stop shop for groceries, gas, home goods, and electronics. Let's do a simple test. How many of you have been to Costco? Yes. And how many of you have loved it? Thank you. We appreciate your business. Now, let's see if you can guess what is the best-selling product at Costco. Toilet paper, ding, 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 you're right. Costco is the best-selling, the toilet paper. Best-selling item is toilet paper. They sell more than a billion, B like in big boy, billion rolls every year. Did you know that, Jim?
Yes, I did.
Just checking, man, because we do all this research on numbers. You might be surprised yourself. The high quality, it's a product that you don't think much about high quality until you use it, but the high quality and warehouse price of Costco toilet paper might get fly off the shelves every day. You'll probably think about toilet paper a little differently the next time you use the bathroom. Now, that there is another product that outsells all the rest, which is the $4.99 rotisserie chicken. You know that Costco sells approximately 60 million chickens over the course of a year. So we can call them the chicken company. To set the conversation in perspective, I would like to share a few figures with you. Costco opened its first warehouse in 1983 in Seattle. By the end of 2019, so from 83 to 2019, the company operates over 780 warehouse stores, generating over $150 billion in revenue and expanding internationally. Still, and that is a topic of conversation, 70% of the retail is in the US. So let's find out a little bit more about that later. There are over 98 million cardholders, 98 million, I'm sure many of you are, if not your parents, representing over 53 million households and a consumer satisfaction, so we love Costco so much, of 83 out of 100. Also, very important and actually very close to the heart of Jim, 245,000 full and part-time very happy employees. So in a single word, we can say that Costco is a wow place. Even though you are not the CEO anymore, you have continued a close affiliation with the company. I don't blame you. I also have a strong affiliation with Costco. In my house, I always want to go. Did you know that? Yeah. I love going to Costco. My wife finds it fascinating that it is the only place that I even volunteer to go, is Costco, knowing that it involves carrying a lot of stuff at the end. But anyway, the format of this conversation is going to be, I will be asking a few questions and then letting the audience also ask questions. Given the level of curiosity that I personally have, and I'm sure you all have, we are planning to be here until midnight, which I hope it's okay with all of you. Is that okay with you, Jim?
It's all perfect.
Yeah. You're right? Yeah, is that okay with you guys? No, it's not. You told me no. But anyway, okay, let's jump into the serious stuff. I have, just to get the whole thing going, how do you choose what products to sell at a Costco? A typical, so you know, a little bit of figures, a typical Costco warehouse carries only about, it's not that many products, 3,700 SKUs, distinct products, from 3,700 to 4,000, while a typical Walmart, so you get a level of comparison, carries approximately 140,000. So Costco, that looks so big to you, has 4,000. Walmart, 140,000. How do you choose what products to sell?
Well, first of all, I have to say you are a great lead-in, man. I learned some things that I didn't know before. Well, you know, when we started in business, our business was directed toward the people who own businesses. And so we might have as a typical shopper somebody that ran a restaurant or somebody that ran a gas station. So we selected the products to cater to that type of customer. And that was an important customer for us because we appealed to them on kind of a three-pronged basis. We appealed to them on the basis of what they needed to supply in their business. Mm-hmm. Maybe if it was a restaurant, food that they were going to serve. They might also buy their toilet paper at Costco, and maybe a television set for their own use. So we really appealed to them on the basis of what they used in their business, what they consumed in their business, and then, of course, what they had for personal consumption. And the direction of the company as it moved on continued to drive toward that type of customer, but added more retail type of selection mm-hmm. as we went on. But clearly, we wanted to be very limited in the selection that we had, so you'll often go in and find that there's just one item in a category, mm-hmm. but we would hope it would be the very best item in that category and the best value that was available in that category. So if you went in and were looking for peanut butter, we're going to be able to supply it to you in your favorite 6-pound package. And then we would also have maybe Jiffy one time. And if Jiffy was not the best price, we'd go to Skippy peanut butter. So we move around.
So it's not necessarily a loyalty to a particular brand, depending on the opportunistic
Depending on the
deal.
value that was available at the time, yes.
And then how Kirkland was born. I mean, you talk us a little bit about having developed this brand. I am sure you all know Kirkland Signature registered $39 billion in sales in 2018. So why did the company decide to create this brand back in '95?
Well, and when we started, we were all brand name products. We didn't carry any off brands, didn't carry any private label. And as a matter of fact, private label in 1983, in the late 80s, was not very popular on a U.S. basis. But as we expanded over into England and Scotland, and as we expanded in Canada, we found that there was a resurgence of private label products. And that was driven an awful lot by the fact that the prices of brand name products were growing so rapidly. The pressure that manufacturers had to exceed expectations from Wall Street made them raise their prices on an ongoing basis. So you'd find crazy things like maybe a commodity went down 5%, but the price of the finished product went up 6% in order to meet the expectations. Well, that created an umbrella for private label products. And we found that in London, many retailers were very successful. And so we thought that we had to get involved in that, and we set some criteria that the products that we would develop would be as good or better than the leading national brand, that we had to be able to save our customers at least 15 to 20% off of the national brand. And that wasn't what the national brand would sell for in a department store or a supermarket, but what the national brand would sell for at Costco. So the savings had to be significant for the customers, and it had to be a meaningful product and one that was important for our customers. And of course, we looked for a name. And you know, what kind of a name were we going to come up with? The conventional wisdom said that you had to have a different name for every class of product that you had. A la Sears and Roebuck with the Kenmore appliances and with the Die-Hard batteries and the Craftsman tools and J.C. Higgins. And we looked at it and we said, you know, we're in so many countries and we have such a wide array of products. We'll have a room full of attorneys that are doing nothing but trying to clear these names for every product. So somebody came to us with the name Kirkland. Kirkland was where our home office was, and they did a design for us that said Kirkland Signature, and we liked it. We cleared it immediately for every country and every product category that we would have. That made it simple. And then we promptly moved our home office to Issaquah. Of course, nobody could spell Issaquah, so we just kept it.
I'm glad you didn't change it. But and who makes those products, the Kirkland? I mean, is that or you find suppliers? Where do you get these suppliers?
We find suppliers on a worldwide basis. And oftentimes they are I'm not going to tell you who they are, but they oftentimes are the leading manufacturers.
Of the family.
They produce the brand products. And so oftentimes that's the case. Not always, but it is the case in many instances that it's exactly the same formula as the brand that's being sold.
No, but you have a very significant advantage in the price of your signature product relative to. But you can also have, and sometimes I have seen that you have the national brand and Kirkland. So do you have any preference for selling yours over the other ones, or at the end of the day you don't care?
No, we generally like to set them side by side. Because when we set them side by side, you're able to illustrate the value that you have on the product. They see the price of the national brand and they see the price of the private label. And not without a lot of work and a lot of time, we've been able to build a lot of confidence in the consumer that they know if they see the Kirkland brand, they've adjusted their minds that they're going to get a good quality product and they'll buy it. So that takes a long time to establish.
Do you need to negotiate with the national brands because at the end of the day you're selling basically the same product but cheaper? Do they get you get any resistance from them to developing these products and actually showing them on the same shelf?
Well, we certainly didn't in the beginning, but as the brand became more popular, we found that there was that cooperation, and also they wanted to continue to do business with us. And they thought that perhaps in some instances they could continue to have their brand on the shelf alongside the private label, and so they'd have a double hit there, if you would, be doing business with both the products. And that has developed over the years. Now that we're a significant factor in the retail business, it's easier to get suppliers to want to do that type of thing and cooperate with us.
Regarding the membership model is something very interesting and very unique to Costco. You're known for offering the best prices. That's your signature thing that, you go to Costco. It may seem counterintuitive to tell customers the best way to save money is to pay up front. I mean, we pay a membership $60, and then I'm going to be recovering my $60 over time. I mean, one shop trip in my case. But in any event, can you explain us a bit about the membership model?
Well, we thought and have always felt that the membership model develops a degree of loyalty. The members feel like they are part of the organization. They feel like they're going to make that their first stop as opposed to going to another store or retailer. They have a tendency to buy more. We certainly do communicate to them, just as you mentioned, that if they're shopping intelligently, they're going to wind up saving that membership fee on one trip to the warehouse. And we think that we can conclusively prove that in almost every instance.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the international expansion. Of all the 780 warehouses, 539 are in the U.S. We have 100 in Canada, 39 in Mexico, give and take, 28 in the U.K., 26 in Japan. But you also have operations in South Korea, Taiwan, Australia, Spain, Iceland, France, and China. So how was the evolution? I mean, what are the challenges? How do you deal with that? For us in the McDonald's School of Business, global business is our middle name. So
I don't know that we necessarily planned it out that well. We were in Seattle, and Canada was only 120 miles away. And we said, how tough can it be? Well, we found out. They were trying to act like it was a different country. They had two languages up there. You had to put labels in two languages. They had a different system of measurement. They had a different financial system, entirely different laws and regulations. And so that was a valuable lesson for us. Thank goodness it was very close to home, and we were able to watch it carefully and grow it. But we didn't know how successful we would be in Canada. Canada was a small country at that time, only 30 million people. I think our estimation was that maybe we could eventually grow to 10 Costcos across the country. Today we have 100. We significantly underestimated the market share that was available for us, not just in Canada, but just about every market that we've gone to. And so that's the reason, in Japan, we never thought we'd have an opportunity for 26 locations, and yet we'll be continuing to grow that business on an ongoing basis. It got us involved in the international business. We found that the concept of saving and having value was translated and could be translated into those various countries and accepted. And it's very interesting that in all of the countries where we do business, most particularly in Asia and in Mexico, American products are very popular. They are at least a third of the product selection that we have, and they are considered premium products. So we, believe it or not, wind up sending more products to Asia than we import ourselves.
Wow.
What we directly import. Now, I have to clarify that a little bit, because products like Samsung and LG and that are produced overseas, and we don't directly import them. But on the stuff that we directly import, we have a greater influence going the other way on what we're exporting to those countries, because the U.S. products are so popular. I was telling somebody earlier today, in Japan, the biggest selling product that we have is Downy fabric softener.
Wow.
We thought they were drinking it. I mean, we didn't understand why it was so popular. And we'd have customers would come in and they would open it and smell it, and they say, "This smells like America."
Wow.
So we kept the product.
Yeah, we didn't know that America had a smell. That's good. China recently has been in the news all the time. You guys have what has been a very successful operation in China. But other companies, other retailers, like Home Depot, they closed the operation. Carrefour, the French company, they closed their operation in China. You guys, on the other hand, has been extremely successful. So what is, you think, the secret of Costco in China?
Well, you know, we saw what was happening with people like Best Buy and with Home Depot and with Carrefour, who was at one time our partner in Europe. And that created a little bit of anticipation and angst on our part, whether or not we were going to be able to be successful there. And we looked for property. As a matter of fact, my first trip to China was over 25 years ago. So it took us a long time to make a determination that we could do business there and getting permission to do business there. And so our first place just opened, as you know, a couple months back. And of course, got off to a great start. The authorities came and asked us to close down because we had created such a traffic issue. There's another part of the story. There was a daycare center immediately adjacent to our building, and the parents couldn't get in and get their children. And so the authorities, who were very nice, said, please close so that we can get the children out of there, and we did. But the news, it went viral on the screens on the iPhones and everything, the story that Costco had to close because they were too busy.
Yeah, the news that came our way was that the Chinese parents rather go to Costco than to picking up their kids. That's what got our way. So I'm very happy you are. I was nervous. I didn't want to touch the topic, but because you brought it up now.
That was a story I planted.
I'm very, I'm relieved. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, do you hire locals when you go to all these countries, like in China and Korea and Japan?
Yes.
So
we generally send a contingent of 3 or 4 management people over to the country. Their intention is to be there for 4 or 5 years and to move out and for us to develop a country team, a team that would run that business. So I was speaking to someone earlier who had just been over to South Korea or had been working with our South Korea people, and he met several of our Korean team over there, and they're still now they're key management people in our company.
Is the operation and the supply chain in each one of these countries similar to what you have in the U.S., or each one of these is kind of independent, that China has their own business model? I mean, we know what is the message and the value that you are selling and positioning the Costco, but the supply chain for each one of these countries, are they taking synergies with the one you have in the U.S., or basically these are different models?
There are synergies that are available with what's in the U.S., of course, because we're a significant purchaser. So when we go to China, our ability to negotiate with LG, as an example, is enhanced by the fact that we do so much business in the U.S. And as I mentioned, so many U.S. products are so very popular there. So we do get synergies. We try. If you were to walk into a Costco in China or in South Korea, you would think you were in a Costco in the U.S.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Except that you would begin to see a lot of foreign products. You would begin to see a lot of Korean products. But your initial impact would be that this is a Costco.
Trade wars, it's a hot topic in Washington, D.C., maybe not in Washington State, but in Washington, D.C. it's kind of a hot topic. Is that affecting you? As Costco is a global corporation, 12 countries. How are trade wars affecting your business?
The trade war effect at the moment is de minimis, but we expect that it's going to become more and more significant as time goes on. At the moment, I think China has tried to do some things to mitigate the cost increases, but that will only go so far. If the tariffs continue at the rate that they are, then the American consumer is going to pay, or a lot of trade is going to be changed to countries like Vietnam and other nations that will be producing the product. You'll see a combination of both those, I think, happening very shortly. But at the moment, I would have to say it's de minimis.
Now let's talk about e-commerce. The company seems to have embraced e-commerce a bit later compared to other places, but this segment outpaced the company overall growth, with e-commerce in sites in the US, Canada, Mexico, UK, Korea, and Taiwan in 2018 for you guys. In 2018, Costco's e-commerce sales amounted to 4% of the total net sales. What is the e-commerce strategy? How do you leverage your global supply chain with e-commerce? Is that like a different business? I mean, we buy many things through e-commerce. Tell us how was that evolution of the...
Well, actually, we've been in the e-commerce business for a long time. And we had we started in about 1998, so much longer ago than you might have thought. One of the hallmarks of our business, as you recall, Ricardo, at that time there were a lot of people getting into the e-commerce business, and in many instances, in most instances, they failed. It didn't survive. Amazon was an exception, but I think it was because Amazon always had the idea that they wanted to build a business for the long run, and a lot of people were in the business looking for an exit strategy there. But Amazon survived. One of the hallmarks of our e-commerce business is we've been profitable since the day we started it. This year, our e-commerce business, when you include everything that we do with travel and with business delivery and everything else, will exceed $10 billion. Wow. Now, it's still a small share, and I'm not trying to be a big shot. $10 billion is still a lot of money.
We'll take it any minute if you don't want.
But it's small relative to the total picture, which is $150 billion.
Wow.
So, but it will continue to grow, and it'll be an important part of our business, and it is an avenue for us to continue to be very competitive with those people who are in the e-commerce business. They have to watch our pricing very carefully.
Is managed separately, the e-commerce?
It's in
I
the
mean,
same-
are they synergies with the?
It's a part of the business.
It's part of
all
the
part
business.
of the business. We did not separate that. No.
And when you purchase, do you have because some of the products are in the store and then next time you go, they might not be there. So why or how is it that you approach, do you buy like a bulk and then you get a good deal and then after that particular product you sell it all, then if you don't get a good deal next time, then it vanishes? I mean, it's not in the store anymore? How is the...
Well, the idea of the 4,000 items, roughly 4,000 items that we carry, about 3,000 of them are basic. And you're going to find them in one form or another every time you came in. Now, use that peanut butter example. Again, you'll find Jiffy or you'll find Skippy, but you're going to find peanut butter in the biggest jar we can make. Now, that's basic, and that's something you will find. That's 3,000 of the items. About 1,000 items are constantly changing. And that's what we think of as the treasure hunt type of items, the type of items that when you come in, you see them one time, maybe you come in and you see that we have a North Face jacket, and you come back the next time and we don't have a North Face jacket, but maybe we have a Burberry handbag, or maybe we have an Under Armour sweatshirt that we have. And we purposely run out of those things. We try to create an atmosphere and an attitude that if you see it, you better buy it, because it might not be there the next time.
Right.
And so constantly changing those items and moving around creates that treasure hunt type of.
So you aggressively have within the company people that go and purchase? I mean, they are in the look for what should be like a good product? I mean, what is the criteria for choosing and buying?
They're always looking for that type of thing. I mean, something like a North Face jacket is pretty easy. You don't, it doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure out that's going to sell at a Costco, and it will. And so will, some of the other brands, the Waterford Crystal or some of the other products that we talk about. But we're constantly looking for them, and now that we have become successful, in the beginning, getting those products was extraordinarily tough. Now it's a little easier because we are a good form of distribution for the product.
Now, sometimes you have branded products, like let's say you have a Bose noise cancellation product at Costco. How is Bose justifying that they can sell it at Costco at a significant discount when at the end of the day they're selling it full price, another version or a minor variation of the products that you sell? That happens, you guys sell laptops, you guys sell computers, you sell TVs. So isn't that like kind of a cannibalization for the branded products to use you as a distribution channel?
Well, I mean, there's several answers to that. I mean, in some instances, there are enhancements that are put on to the product that make it a better value so that it's different than what is being sold in the general retail environment. In other instances, the manufacturers have come to the conclusion that if they're not going to sell Costco, and they're not going to sell Walmart, and they're not going to sell Amazon, who are they going to sell? This is a very significant part of the distribution of products across our country. And so it's become more channeled on that basis. And they've become very creative in trying to figure out ways to do business with customers, even though the price element of it is always a challenge. You know, it's difficult for somebody to look and suggest as an example that they're going to sell a pair of Calvin Klein jeans for $30 that will sell for $60 in a department store.
Are there any products you will not sell?
We've never sold guns or ammunition. We have never sold marijuana, even so.
It's legal.
Even though one time in Riverside, California, somebody was stopped and he had a couple of big cans in the back of his car with labeled as tomato juice. And so the police opened the cans and it was marijuana. And he said, I don't know where that came from. I just shopped at Costco. Of course, he was lying and they booked him anyway. But, you know, those types of products. We won't sell seconds or in irregulars. It's all going to be first quality, high quality merchandise.
Cigarettes, you stop selling at some point.
We have, in our business delivery system, we have cigarettes. We don't have them in their general warehouses any longer. And we've been phasing out of those for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
At one time, when we first started in business, it was the biggest selling product that we had.
Cigarette. Yes. Well, let's talk now about, you are very famous because you're very good to the employees. I mean, people at Costco love you. Now we can see why. Just talking with you with 5 minutes, we all love you. But it's kind of interesting that the company has 245,000 full and part-time, very happy employees. One of your quotes is, Wall Street is in the business of making money. Between now and the next Tuesday, we are in the business of building an organization, an institution we hope will be here 50 years from now. Costco employees, including about 163,000 U.S. workers, are a very happy bunch. The turnover rate at Costco is only 5% for employees of over a year, and it's more like 60% for retail overall. So what do you do? What is the magic of keeping the employees so happy?
Certainly, wages are a part of it, and benefits are a part of it, but that's just a part of it. We've always had the feeling that if you hire good people and provide good jobs and good wages and good career opportunities, and we promote almost 100% from within our company, if you provide those types of things, people like it, enjoy working for you, and they enjoy working for a company that's going to try to do the right thing for them and for the customers. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want to turn our people. We want to turn our inventory. We want to keep our people.
Yeah, right. What are the challenges moving forward?
Well, the challenges are always difficult. I mean, the situation with the trade wars at the moment is certainly going to be a challenge for all of us. I think we will figure it out, all of us collectively in the economy. I think that we have always underestimated the amount of market share that we had available for us. I told you the story of Canada, but we have consistently underestimated that. And I think we have a lot more opportunities to succeed in the future. But disciplines, I mean, selling merchandise at low prices, anybody can do that. Mm-hmm. The secret is to be able to do it and make a profit at it and operate with the disciplines that are necessary. So if I had to point to one single thing, I would say the discipline of cutting and containing costs at every level of our business will be the secret as to how well we're doing 20 years from now.
Great. I would like to open it for you guys. I mean, I am enjoying this too much, as you can see. But I would like to, any of you that would like to ask questions, we have microphones here and there. So please tell us your name. Make it like a short version of the question. And I'm sure Jim is going to be more than happy to answer the question.
Should you start? Hi, this is Roy. First, thank you for the great talk. Going to Costco is like Disneyland for me. So the question is, I'm sure when you start the company, there's some resistance. There's people like mocking you or not telling you it's not going to work. How did you deal with that? And then the second thing, was there some books or some things you read that inspired you to keep driving that far and keep building this? Thank you.
I didn't hear either.
I couldn't hear the question, so.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, I'm sure when you start building the company, there's resistance and objections of people in front of you, like telling you this is not gonna work, this is not, this is not working out.
Of people that this model might not work.
And is there any books or mentors or coaches that you had that's helped you push this far?
The theory behind your success.
That's assuming there was a theory. Huh?
Yeah. We are writing the book, guys, of the theory, so you can buy it later.
If not, like some advice that you wish you told yourself when you're like 25 or 22 years old?
Well, I think, yes, I wish I'd done it, but I wasn't smart enough when I was 25 to do that. I mean that. I mean, I had to learn the craft of the business. I worked in the retail when I was 18 years old and a sophomore in college. I wanted to be an attorney. I'd even directed my studies in that way. I had even selected the law school I was going to go to. They had not selected me at that place. but I fell in love with the retail business, working part-time, and so I had to learn that business, and I was fortunate to learn it from a man that Ricardo alluded to earlier, Saul Price, who became my lifelong mentor, and I learned an enormous amount from him. But it took years for me to get as good as him, and I don't think I ever achieved that. And the most interesting book, or did I read a book? I remember a book that I read once called Self-Renewal, written by the guy that started the organization in town. I'll think of it when I leave here. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
But
We'll email you the name of it.
Self-Renewal was the name of the book, and it was about
That's
50
great.
years ago, and it was kind of enlightening and inspiring.
Excellent.
Hello. Oh, this side?
You. You're the lucky one.
Cool, thank you. Hi, I'm Will. I just want to say my family loves the Costco food court. My dad's favorite pizza is Costco pizza. So I was just wondering, what's your favorite item? And also, what was the rationale behind a warehouse store opening up a food court with really low prices?
Behind the opening,
What was the rationale behind opening a food court in a warehouse
Yeah.
store?
Why did you open a food court? And he loves pizza.
okay. Well, I heard the pizza part, part of it was the fact that we had all of these people running around in the Costco. I mean, they're, schlepping very heavy stuff, and obviously they must be hungry. We should be feeding them while they're here, in addition to the samples that we do. And we decided to put in the food court, and that was 37 years ago. We put in the hot dog, and over the years, we have enhanced that hot dog. It now is still $1.50 after all these years. It's a hot dog and a drink. It's a quarter-pound dog. Actually, it's slightly larger than a quarter-pound dog. I can go on and on about this hot dog. And by the way, people will tell you that's probably my favorite item. I had one today because I was
there you go.
Pentagon City.
So you have something in common, you see what I'm saying?
That's one of my favorite items. One of my favorite items also is the Costco Kirkland Signature shirt. So I buy those every time I see them. So I got a lot of favorite products there.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cooper Hansen. I first want to thank you for coming to Georgetown today. Oh, okay. I first want to thank you for coming to Georgetown today. Both of my parents work at Costco. They're 25-year employees. I helped get here with the Sunshine Brooks Foundation, so it just means a lot that you came here. I want to start with a two-part question I've been interested in. Being that the company is approaching 4 years of success, what are Costco's plans to maintain its culture with much of its core reaching retirement age? And then secondly, with the expansion and growth, even that of China a few months back, what role does Costco take in the sustainability of all its products, especially in regards to consumables? You kind of went over it, but I didn't know if you could go further in depth.
Okay, the first.
Why don't you come again, man? That was like a long thing. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What part did you hear?
We're going to make your life easier. Why don't you repeat the whole thing?
Okay, for sure. So both my parents are 25-year plus employees.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay, I got here. I got here with the Sunshine Brooks Foundation, so special thanks to that. Okay, so my first part of my question was, being that the company is approaching 40 years of success, what are Costco's plans to maintain its culture, with much of its core reaching retirement? And then secondly, with the expansion and growth, even that of China a few months back, what role does Costco take in the sustainability of all its products, especially in regards to consumables?
The
Okay, well,
sustainability.
the culture aspect of it is, I have a saying that culture is not the most important thing. It's the only thing. Culture of a company drives, or an organization or an institution like this, drives every decision that you make. And if you have a culture where you try to purvey and convince everyone that doing the right thing in every instance is the way you want to operate your business, then everyone feels more comfortable in dealing with that. And that culture either exists or it doesn't exist. I mean, we've seen examples of countries or companies that have had a bad culture where people started doing the wrong things because they thought that was the way they were supposed to act. It's not easy to sustain. I think it will be sustained because I think the people that are managing the company now, I'm gone now, I'm retired, they're longtime employees. They believe 100% in what the culture of our company is, and I think they will sustain it over the period of time. As far as sustainability itself, we are very conscious of that. I mean, we have, as an example, you've probably noticed, we don't have grocery bags.
Yeah, we know.
We put everything back in the boxes that the merchandise came from. We do everything that we save. We have solar systems on the roof of about 25% of our buildings now, wherever there's sunshine. We can't do it in Seattle much, but we can there. So we try to save on energy in that fashion. We have skylights in all of our buildings. We do that. We're trying to use every form of sustainability that we can come and where we can be competitive and also keep our business running in the right direction. We follow up on it. We have an entire department within Costco that deals with sustainability. Not just in the U.S., but in every country where we do business.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. My name is Xiaowei Tu. Originally from Taiwan. I can attest that people in Taiwan love Costco pizza, and the inside looks exactly the same as the Costco's here. Thank you very much for spending your time with us today. I have two questions. First question is, I read online that there were studies saying that the business model of Costco, majority of the profit comes from the membership fees, not from the margins from the products. So I'm not sure if you can elaborate on that a little bit. And the second question is, since you formally stepped away last year, how actively are you still with Costco? And if you're not so active, what are you spending your time doing nowadays? Thank you.
Well, the membership fee is very important. Obviously, I mentioned to you before, it ingrains a certain element of loyalty to the business. People feel like they're part of the organization and have a vested interest. It is a good portion of the profit to the extent that we get the membership fee where we use those dollars to lower prices. And over the years, as we have increased the membership fee, we have consistently taken and put every dollar back into the lower prices of the product. So it's part of the formula, it's part of the strategy that we have for running our business. And
Second question is,
What do you
since
do
you
now
stepped
that you're
away
retired?
now that I'm retired, what makes you think I'm doing anything?
well, you're speaking with us, obviously.
Well, I am on the board of business schools at 3 universities, at Seattle University and at Notre Dame University and at San Diego State University, where I went to school. I'm on the board of the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center. I'm on the board of another scholarship program in the state of Washington. I speak at about 10 universities a year.
But can you admit that this is the one that you're the happiest and you're like the audience is the best? No?
Well, I guess I'm happy with all of them. And I still go into a Costco in every city that I'm in. So on Tuesday I was in Chicago at Costco, and yesterday I was in Boston at Costco, and today at Pentagon City. So I still got to take a look at them.
Do you go to check the business or to eat the pizza?
Well, today was for a hot dog.
Hi, my name's Catherine Nguyen, and I'm a Georgetown alum. Thank you for coming today. I'm sorry I lost my voice, but growing up, I was a daughter of Vietnamese immigrants. I'm one of 6, so we love Costco. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but my mom would always take us during lunchtime, and she would set all 6 kids free to eat samples for lunch while she shopped. So that was one of the reasons we love Costco, but we do love your store. My question, so I used to practice law, and I recently launched a company. It's a food company, and my question is close to my heart, which is a lot of companies and food stores nowadays are creating programs to bring in innovative products and new products. Does Costco have any plans to bring in emerging products and innovative products, or does your business model really only allow for those tried and true brands that you can bring value to your customers?
Which brand?
If one of the targets is to bring innovative products to Costco
Innovative?
or innovative products.
Of course, we're constantly looking for innovative products, and as a matter of fact, we love them because we like to be first with something. But when you only have 4,000 items, you only have so much space for those items. But we're constantly scouring the market, looking for what we think is the next exciting product. We would love to be the first one. We would have loved to have been the first one to sell an iPhone, as an example.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure a lot of people would make that statement. So,
And how do you find, I guess this question's been asked, but logistically, do you have summits to find new products, or are your buyers out there looking for the products themselves?
We're all over the world looking for products. There's, very few countries that we don't travel to today. We bring products in from all over the world and all over our country, all over North America, certainly. And we've got buyers in about 8 different locations across North America that are doing just that, looking for those types of products.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks so much for coming out. I have about 100 questions I could ask about the beer Kirkland Light.
Only
but
50. Only 50.
I'm gonna save everyone some time there. So, in a lot of the cases we read in our program, business case after business case, so a big lesson is keep to your core competency as a business. Stick true to what you do well. But at the same time, you need to innovate. You need to do what you do better. And a lot of times you'll feel like your competitors are doing something, so you have to do that. It can feel very urgent. So my question to you is really about leadership. How do you, as a leader, stay true to your company's strengths while at the same time kind of keeping that core group of executives around you, interested in innovation and things like that?
Well, as you know, the world is changing. I mean, look at Uber, look at iPhones, look at all the changes that are taking place. But generally speaking, innovation is incremental. It happens step at a time and becomes incremental. We're looking for innovation. I mean, when we started in business, selling film and film processing was a very big part of the business. I mean, it was crazy. We loved it. It was, a customer would come in and buy the film, and then they had to bring it back to get it developed, and then they had to come back and pick it up. I mean, 3 trips. Who wouldn't love that? But pretty soon, that all went away. The film went away, the processing went away. Everybody takes pictures on their telephones now. You have to be smart enough in business to recognize how those changes are taking place and not make the mistake of hanging in there. And we saw mistakes made by many people who didn't change and didn't make the innovation that was necessary. But innovation is, as I mentioned, incremental. I mean, Kodak film didn't drop off the shelf one day. It dropped off over a period of about 3 years. And when it happened, it was gone. And you have to be prepared to change your business or you're not going to survive. You'll be a dinosaur for sure. And a classic example of that, unfortunately, is Sears.
Yes.
Sears is a company that was
Very
the
sad.
icon. It was an American icon.
Yep.
At one point in time, it was the company that was the Costco of the land. Everyone shopped.
Yeah, you're right.
All of middle America shopped there. Today, Sears is irrelevant, unfortunately, and it's a sad thing because they were an American icon. And if you think about it, they were the leaders. They had the Sears catalog. You're all too young to remember the Sears catalog.
I do.
But the
I do
Sears
remember.
catalog was incredible. The whole country waited for that catalog to come out with
Amazing.
thousands and thousands of products in it. Just think how easy that would have been to translate into e-commerce business
You're right.
at that point. But they didn't. So they didn't take advantage of the innovation at that point. And as I say, today, unfortunately, they are irrelevant.
Thank you.
We have a couple more. We're running out of time, but go ahead.
Hi, my name's Adam Roth. I'd like to know a little bit more about the pharmaceutical side of the business. So,
Pharmaceutical.
Why Costco decided to enter that, and if there were any specific regulatory challenges there or dealing with the distributors there. And then, I think that part of the business, you don't have to be a member to use the pharmacy. So that's an also interesting aspect that I'd like to get your opinion on.
By the way, I think you may be the only person in the room besides me that knows that you don't have to be a member to use the pharmacy. My 2 grandchildren didn't know today when I took them over to. So that is the case. The state laws in many states require you to be able to service anyone who walks in to get a prescription. And they do that because oftentimes people that are sick can't travel long distances, and they have to be able to take advantage of the closest place where they can get a prescription. We got into the prescription business because a colleague of mine at FedMart, who was an expert, who had run 47 stores and pharmacies and understood the business, we recognized the value that we could bring to the customers. I mean, it's legendary, the pricing that goes on with prescription drugs, most particularly generic drugs. We've had stories done on us free. I mean, done on 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock news, touting our prescription prices. And they'll use examples of different pharmacies where a 30-day supply would be $360, and another place it was $290, and another place it was $167, and at Costco it was $12.18. I mean, it was that dramatic a picture. And so we were able to show an enormous value in those types of products. And we love to do that. I mean, we love to do it because we like to build the reputation for doing it, but we think we also provide a great service by doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you both for your time. Mr. Sinegal, a question for you. To guide some of the entrepreneurs that we may have in this room, just wanted to see if you could elaborate on some of the key experiences in your own entrepreneurial journey when you started this.
Entrepreneurial wisdom that you would like to share with the audience.
Well, I mean, one of the things, and I didn't really answer and make a comment about what the other gentleman said about focus, and that you're taught in school that you should be focusing on something, your core competency. Don't disband your core competency. Stay with it and keep it. And there is a tendency oftentimes in business to do exactly that, to find the next new thing, and then you forget about what your core competency is. So that's a danger, not focus. Focus is very important in business. Really zeroing in on what you want to do and making sure that you're delivering on that promise. Costco has, the fact that we only have 4,000 products compared to 140,000 items shows the focus that we have and paying attention to that. We're going to deliver the best product that we can, and not going to worry about carrying a lot of other products on the shelf. So the best business plan is that. I would suggest 2 things for people who are in business school. Number 1, if you have a chance to get a mentor, take advantage of it. How lucky was I to have a mentor who I consider to be the smartest person I'd ever known. And I've known a lot of smart people, but he was the smartest, and wow. How lucky that I had that experience during a lifetime. And then the second thing is, if you get involved in something that's drudgery and that you don't like, and you hate going to work, get out of there, run as fast as you can to the fastest exit, and get out of there. Because the longer you stay, the more toxic it's going to become, and you're not doing the organization any good, and you're not doing yourself any good. So find something that you truly love and can become passionate about, and you'll never have to work another day in your life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take these 2 quickly because, we promised we were going to finish on time. So go ahead. Okay. Quick, and then we go.
Okay, so
We know that Costco is also in the online travel agency business. And I personally booked my Christmas trip on Costco. So my question has two parts. So first of all, how does Costco do it? Is it contracted to some other company, or does Costco do it by yourself? And second part is why Costco is in that business, because OTA is already.
I'm not hearing the question.
In what business we didn't hear?
Online travel, Costco travel.
A travel business.
So how and why Costco do that?
Well, you know, we got into the travel, but there was a travel business in Seattle that had been pretty successful, and we looked at the package and we bought the company. I mean, it was a very small company. I mean, it couldn't have had maybe eight employees. We bought the company. They had some pricing on packages that we thought were attractive, and after we talked to some various people who produced these packages, we thought that we could show a 30, 40, 50% savings on some travel. So we bought the company. And right after we bought the company, 9/11 occurred. And of course, travel stopped completely. So we almost went out of business before we got it off the ground here. But we stuck with it. And today, it's a very big part of what we offer to our customers, I mean, and a great satisfaction level. Not only do we have some terrific cruise packages and travel packages, resort packages that are available, but the element of satisfaction on the part of our customers is tremendous. We get like a 96% rating, favorable rating on the packages that we've produced for them, so they like it. Now, did I miss the first part of your question?
My first part of question is, so my question has two parts. One part is how, the other part is why. So I think my question is answered.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last question.
So everybody's been asking too, that's why it's gone on so long. And I will keep it to one, since it's the last one, and we're tight on time. One question was about the relish and the onions consumption in different countries at the bar. But the main question is, you know, what do you feel like your specific talent, what were you excellent at that allowed you to be as successful in business as you are? What was your superpower?
The secret sauce. I mean, we know that you were unloading mattresses.
Well, you know,
I think that helped.
I was going through a warehouse in Chicago one time, and a woman was on a shopping cart, and she was looking over her glasses at me like this, and kept looking, and she finally said, "Are you who I think you are?" And I said, "George Clooney?" She said, "Exactly." I don't know. I have no special
Very
talent.
good, very good. Well, please join me in thanking you.